Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Tony Award winners Chita Rivera and Roger Rees are returning to Broadway in the John Kander, Fred Ebb, and Terrence McNally musical, The Visit. Under the direction of John Doyle, it will open on April 23rd. And we're here at the Lyceum Theatre to meet the company and where Chita gave us a sneak peek at one of the show's musical numbers, Love and Love Alone. Enjoy.
What can prove you wrong? Love and love alone. When the sun seems forever bright.
This was so exciting to sit in this house and watch you do what you do. What was today like for you?
Well, it was the first time in New York, to do that. Not the song, because I did the song in my concert, but to be in this theater, this beautiful old theater, which I was told was like the oldest theater in New York. Why, it's old, such a anyhow, but I love it. And to do it for you guys, just to do it for somebody beyond our family, with that sweet, lovely girl, Michelle. I said to her, Michelle, this is just the beginning for you. I'm so happy for her because she's really talented. But she's the young me, and she copies. We copy each other, and it's a wonderful flavor in the show that John and Terrence have discovered. Of course, the number was Graziella. Pure Graziella Danielle.
The whole entire company working on this show from top to bottom, like Tom said, is pure theatrical royalty.
It is, Richie. To get as a gift Roger Rees at this time in my life, to get John Doyle at this time in my life, for Grazie to just turn down whatever it is that because she's always working, to come in and to choreograph. And the story, and those two eunuchs, Chris and Matthew are just brilliant. And Tom, my entourage. It's just exciting. We didn't want to leave rehearsals. We were very safe and very comfortable in that rehearsal. And then the rest of the cast is just Mary Beth Peel. I mean, when she walked in, I just couldn't believe it, because we did 9 together. And what a dream. She's so darn pretty. Even with that makeup that's supposed to make her look ancient. But the whole cast,
This has been a real joy for you, because I asked John Kander, John Doyle, Terrence said this is nothing but pure joy working on this show. It's been the same way for you, right?
Yeah, it has. It really has. Now, I know you get a little nervous because you really want people to hear, to listen to a great story that's deep and passionate and troublesome. I mean, I remember when we used to go to the theater, and then it was a fabulous show, and then all of a sudden we'd say, let's go to my house for some wine, and we'd spend all night talking about that show. Well, this and that and that. That's what I hope this is. If people love the theater, that's what this is. And we have the fabulous David Garrison and Jason Daniele. I mean, please. The entire cast is that special. So we just have a good old time all the time.
Love and love alone.
This was so special for me to sit in this house today. I thanked your husband, Tom, for opening the theater today. What was today like for you, opening it up for the press to see this beautiful number?
Well, I think it's such a special jewel, this number, and I'm very eager to share it with New York City. So you're the first New Yorkers to see it tomorrow. Thursday night's our first official preview. So when you're really proud of something, you want to show it off. And they performed it beautifully, and it's one of the highlights of the show. I think there's quite a few highlights, actually, but that's certainly one of them.
This has been a real joy for you with working on this show, Terrence, hasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, people say this show's taken so long to get to Broadway, and I don't really think so. I'm very much a believer the time is right to do things, and the right people have to be in the room. But we waited a long time before we brought back It's Only a Play, and we got the right cast in this show. We got the right director, choreographer, and stars now. And I'm glad we waited to do it sooner.
No, I believe the same thing you do. Everything is meant to be when it's meant to be. And like your husband said, that's all royalty upstairs from, the top to the bottom.
Iconic people. And, when I see Chita, I still see Anita in West Side Story. I saw that when I was in college. I was 17 when I saw that show. And Roger, of course, is always going to be Nicholas Nickleby. And this whole company, everyone, they're all individuals up there. No one's ensemble. And they all do beautiful work. I'm so proud of this production. And John Doyle and Graziella Daniele are just geniuses what they brought to this production.
This touched audiences so at Williamstown. This is such an intellectual show, a sexy show. It's dealing with age and everything else. What is it like for you watching the way this show affects an audience?
Well, I'm very proud, and I'm aware that just because something's a musical, you don't have to dumb it down. And this show is emotionally complex, intellectually complex, and very entertaining and sexy. And I love seeing two people who are not teenagers or in their early 20s being passionate about love. And I think that's kind of unique. And this is much sexier than what The Lunch did with it, which I also saw when I was in college. So Chita's the youngest person in the room wherever she goes. So,
totally.
Yeah.
My final question is, what was it like collaborating with John Kander and Fred Ebb on this?
Oh, wonderful. This is our third show we did together, and it was always a good fit. And, I'm not just a librettist, so I take 5 or 6 to 10 years off, whatever, between shows. But all three experiences were very positive ones, and I'm so proud that this, their last collaboration, is being seen on Broadway. And
This was stunning. Thank you for opening the theater today for us.
Thank you. Thank you. We've never done that before, and we sort of thought, what the hell? It's Chita Rivera, it's Kander and Ebb, it's Terrence McNally, it's Graziella Daniele, Roger Rees, John Doyle. It's special, and we're in the oldest theater on Broadway, and we really wanted to give the community something today, and I think we did it this afternoon. I feel very happy about it.
Well, this is the best of the best that you gave us, connected with this production. What has this whole show meant to you, Tom, with bringing the visit to Broadway?
Okay, one of the very first shows I saw as a young man was Chicago, and with Chita Rivera and Gwen Verdon. It's the first Broadway show I went to without my parents, and it was the moment in my life that I knew that this was my favorite art form, that I always, whatever free time I had, I wanted to be spent inside of a theater. And so to be working with Chita in a Kander and Ebb musical as a 51-year-old man is, I count my blessings. I'm so filled with gratitude and joy and excitement. It's humbling. It sounds corny, but I feel like I've been to Disney World. It's
you're giving it to us.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really believe that this city and this country and the world, frankly, are in for an unexpected treat. I mean, the show is so entertaining and so intellectually rigorous without sacrificing its entertainment value. It's challenging, it's fun, it's very, very sexy, it's so melodic, and the level of craft that is on this stage is, I think, unparalleled. I really can't remember a time when I've seen a group of artists firing on all cylinders with this level of experience and really playing at the top of their games. I think, you know, it's on a day-to-day basis, I have to do my work, so I can't think I'm working with royalty. But then there are these moments when you're in the back of the theater and you see them all conferring and you think, that is royalty. They have given us gifts from West Side Story to Cabaret and Chicago and Spider-Woman and the brilliant revival of Sweeney Todd, Nicholas Nickleby, all of those gifts they've given us. And guess what? There's one more gift to be given, and it's going to open on April 23rd.
How excited are you, Roger, to be working on The Visit for Broadway?
It is an exciting prospect. Not least of all in this wonderful theatre, the Lyceum, which I've always adored. Years ago, I saw Nancy Marchand, who became a great friend of mine in Mornings at 7 here. One of the first things I saw in this theatre, and so to be on the stage where she was thrills me. But more thrilling to be on stage where John Cander's changing chords and John Doyle's redirecting you and you know, Terence McNally is changing the script, and that lovely lady Chita Rivera comes up to me and pokes me in the ribs and makes me cry and laugh. We're having a great time. It's exhausting, it's very human, and the Visit is a great poem about greed, about neutrality after the Second World War, but more than anything about two people who have been in love all their life and get to talk about it. It's thrilling. It's thrilling. So we're having a good time.
And then there's that beautiful Candor and Ebb score.
It's wonderful, yeah, and the orchestrations by Larry Hockerman are so wonderful because they're modest. And there's little of jazz hands about this. It's not overconfident. It's about poignancy and about sadness, and we all know what that is. And you know, and they're the best stories, like Chekhov. You know, yeah. So
then there's this cast. Talk about your fellow cast members.
Yeah, there's Mary Beth Peel plays my wife, and Jason Daniele plays my friend, the schoolmaster, and David Garrison. It's wonderful. They're a thrilling group of people. And they make me laugh too, so I'm having a happy time.
And working with John Doyle.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be a John Doyle actor. You know, I couldn't believe it when I got the call because I thought he went for sort of different sort of, I don't know, fancier sort of actor. But so it's great. But we like each other a lot, and we want to do some more things, so that's good. But he's a very wise man, and he doesn't get panicked, and he doesn't get artificial, and he won't let you get away with anything that's not so good.
You know, audiences fell madly in love with this in Williamstown. This is such a smart piece. What was it like hearing the audience's reaction and what you're looking forward to getting an audience here in New York?
I stayed in Williamstown in the Williams Inn. Yeah. And I think the demographic for this, which is perfect demographic, it's older women would surround my table at breakfast. They come up to me and they say, "Oh, we did like the play," and it was because it's a story for them. You know, it's of course a vengeful story, but it's about a redress. It's about a woman's right. You know, and I recognise that too. It was wonderful to see the reaction, and they're all going to come here. They all promised to come, so it's be great.
My final question is, if you could sum up the best part of the experience so far with working on The Visit, Roger, what has it been for you?
You know what, I suppose being in love with Chita, you know, is something that happens to people in the show business. But you remember in Sweet Charity, there's a number called "There's Got to Be Something Better Than This." I love that. It's a great number, the three of them. And I sometimes look at Chita and I catch the light in her eyes across the stage. We're thinking about the play, of course, but I can't avoid thinking about her in those wonderful things she achieved, West Side, etc. And so it's very moving to me. Yeah, very moving to be on stage with her.
Let's talk about this world of the visit that you're living in. What has it been like?
Oh, how extraordinary to be in the room with all these incredible legends. My first Broadway show was choreographed by Graziella Danielle. 30-some years later, back around again. But the show was so elegant and mysterious and sexy and atmospheric. And Chita is at the height of her powers at the age of 80, and still lifting that leg and just commanding a house by moving, one muscle. It's extraordinary.
Talk about what you do in the musical.
What I do, I'm kind of the bad guy. It's interesting of late. I've become the bad guy in musicals like Titanic, sink the boat, Silence. I mean, gosh, I'm really turning into a bad guy. I'm the mayor of the town of Brocken, which has fallen on very hard times, and the citizenry of the town welcomes back the world's richest woman, played by herself, and she's come back with an agenda that we don't know about. And so the story raises a very interesting question, like, what would you do for $1 million? I won't give you much more than that, but there's a great and important moral question lying at the heart of this love story that involves the townspeople. And as the political head of the town, I'm a little more Machiavellian than the rest of the crowd.
In this beautiful Candor and Ebb score.
I think it's one of their best, and these are the guys who wrote Cabaret and Chicago. This is so beautiful. It's almost a combination of an operatic theme with chamber music and wonderful tunes like Love and Love Alone. I think is going to become a classic in their catalog.
What are you looking forward to the most with being a part of the visit and bringing it to Broadway?
A very long run. In a gorgeous theater. The Lyceum is such a beautiful theater, and it's a perfect house for this show. I mean, it seems like the set is growing into the house the way Scott Pask has designed it. It's really quite extraordinary.
Congratulations. Tell me what this means to you, John, working on this musical and bringing it to Broadway.
It means an enormous amount. I mean, I've had, you know me, I've had a great time here, right? I came at the early twilight of my career and had a great time immediately. With a production that was unique. Sweeney Todd was unique, and this has felt like that. It's felt like, when you only recognize what it means when you're working with people at the top of their game. You forget what that is when you're not doing it, but then you come back to that and you think, oh wow, this is extraordinary, because everybody in this room is pulling at the same time to make something unique and special. Now you can't set about to make something good. As an artist, you can't do that. But you can set about to find real truth in something. And I hope we've done that with a visit. And then, it goes without saying, but Chita she's just extraordinary. That's been very special. I mean, they're a great group of actors, as I said before, great people. And many people in the company who have had, Mary Beth Beale, Jason. I mean, people who have had wonderful careers, who are happy to be there to support this, what feels a little bit like an historic event. A Candor and Ebb, Terence. John Candor at 88 is still the youngest person in the room. Marvelous. It's really been marvelous.
If you could sum up the best part of the experience so far with working on the visit, what has it been for you, John?
Oh, I think the sense of constantly striving to make a very important piece of theatre. As I said, not striving to please anything, but really trying to dig into this material, which is deep, and it's passionate, And it's not run of the mill, you know? It challenges, I think, it challenges the viewer. And to try, one of the things I said at the beginning to the producers was, the only way I can do this is to do it as if it were a piece of European theatre, as if you were watching a Polish theatre company doing it or something. And to find that way, and to trust that, and not put other bells and whistles on top of that will maybe weaken the event. So that's all been very special. Working with Grazie is amazing as well. Graziella Daniela is a very special person. I mean, there are days when I think, how did this happen? And I've worked with some, I've done my bit and worked with some of the great legends. But I don't think there is a greater legend than Chita. She's not only as an artist, but what I've found in being here with I think particularly of people like Paddy and Bernadette and the people that I've worked with, Faith and so on, they're all, not only are they great artists, they're great people. Yeah. And you can't be a great artist unless you are a special person. It's just a special thing. So it's been a treat.
How excited are you to be working on The Visit?
I don't know what the superlative number is, but I'm excited. Yeah.
I like that word.
Yeah.
It's been really special, hasn't it?
In almost every way I can imagine. In almost every way. I mean, the history of who we're working with, the cast itself, the theater we're in. It's almost like it was predestined, and I feel very lucky to be here.
Well, of course, you've had the opportunity of working with Chita before. You did 9 together. Yes. What is it like working with her?
Well, she's a miracle. She's like, we were talking the other day, and I said, "You're still a gypsy, aren't you?" She's still like cutting up with the kids and has all of the experience and the years that she brings with her, but not in this way, but just. And she's so generous, both on stage and off stage. It doesn't get any better than that.
Tell me what you love about the musical itself and the role that you play.
Oh, well, the music to start with is so beautiful, both not only to listen to, but to sing. John Kander knows how to write for singers. And it doesn't happen that much, if I may say so, anymore. So it's quite wonderful. It's like medicine for the voice to sing his music. And my part, I'm the other woman,
I love that, the other woman.
Yes. Don't tell Chita.
If you could sum up the best part of the experience so far with working on this, what has it been for you?
Working with John Doyle.
The best.
Yeah. I want to attach myself to his coattails and just go anywhere with him. Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome back to Broadway. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels so great. The last time I was on Broadway was with my wife in Next to Normal, and we both said, what do you do after being in a Pulitzer Prize award-winning, Tony Award-winning musical? The bar's set pretty damn high. Well, you work with Terrence McNally, Kander and Ebb, Chita Rivera, Roger Rees, and you get an amazing number toward the end of the show. So it doesn't kind of get any better than this now. It's fantastic.
Tell me what you love about the show and the role that you play.
I love so much about this show. I honestly do. I've been talking about it, and I keep getting goosebumps because I'm thrilled for the audiences to come in, particularly the theater audiences, people who go to the theater often or who are involved in the theater, because the theater magic that John Doyle has created. We thought we had something in Williamstown, and we did. We got here, and it just keeps ratcheting up. And even since we've been to the theater for the last week and a half doing tech, it's getting deeper and deeper. The music is so rich. Kander is a huge opera fan, and you can really hear the romance of opera and classical music informing the score. And then Terrence's book is very operatic in scope, but it's, one act, 100 minutes long. So in my role, the schoolmaster is Roger's character's best friend, and the intellectual who has the hardest decision to make in the situation. And so the last domino to fall, and I get this beautiful romantic Puccini-esque aria to sing. So what more can you say? I'm a lucky damn dog.
There's so much more I want to ask you, but my final question is, if you could sum up the best part of this experience so far with working on The Visit, what has it been for you?
Chita, Chita, Chita. We worked together. We did a live from Lincoln Center concert like about a year and a half ago, all candor and ebb. But just to be around her, the calm, cool professional who just trusts that all that experience is there, and it's just going to flow out to the second balcony, and everyone here has a prime seat to see history.
It was so great today. Tell me what it's been like working on this show, John.
Well, it's been a long time, and it's been through lots and lots of changes. And the first production of this was on 9/11. We were in Chicago. We've had a long journey with it. We had a production after that in D.C. And then when John Doyle came aboard with this, this is a totally different conception of it physically, and quite beautiful and quite kind of surprising to all of us in terms of what we had intended. But the big deal for me is Chita.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No, it really doesn't. And we are so close that I would say half the reason more than that, of wanting this to be here was to have people see Chita at the very, very peak of her powers, give lessons on that stage. I've said often that it just, for people just to watch her stand still is like all about what theater is to me.
My final question is, how excited would Freddie be tonight, or today? How excited would Freddie be that this has made it to Broadway?
Oh, he would be thrilled, and the three of us together were so close. No, he'd be. I've had several conversations with him, and he's had a few suggestions, and I passed them along, but I think he would be very happy.
I love it.
Love and love, blue.